So, recently I was thinking about Ben Arnold's live-action TNB 6th Gen 1 adaptation, his next live-action film coming out in 2027. And I saw the release dates of summer 2027, and I went, oh no. If you don't move these movies, well then the film is going to be in a heap of trouble. But there's some hope to this. There's a way Ben Arnold can fix this. So what am I talking about exactly here? Well, here's why I think 6th Gen 1 live-action from Ben Arnold could be in big trouble. So here we go. So here's the release dates of summer 2027. We have movies like Sesame Street 13, TNB 5, Ryan Spose's Galaxy, and Ben Arnold's 6th Gen 1 coming out on the same day. Joel Hudson's Brian Babyford's solo villain film, Mandem's 9, and King and Queen 9, TNB 2nd Gen 5, Dr. Vulture Returns, The Good Guys 3, OWCA 6th Gen 3, Silent Wars Part 2, and Coco and Olivia Part 2, Superheroes and Skyworks live-action adaptation of Annoying Orange. Well, July alone has 5 family movies that they're competing against, and families don't really have that kind of money to buy tickets for 4 of those PG family films. That is just too many films for families. And not just that too, with the fact that both Sesame Street 13 and TNB 5, Ryan Spoke's Galaxy, are released on the same day as TNB 6th Gen 1 live action. And TNB 6th Gen 1 live action has to compete with TNB 5, Ryan Spoke's Galaxy, Joel Hudson's Brian Babyford, his second film in his second Skyworks solo villain movie genre trilogy, Mandem's 9, King and Queen 9, and Sesame Street 13. All very successful franchises, and this is just a live-action adaptation of an early 2021 movie. TNB 6th Gen 1 live-action is going to be very overshadowed, and it's going to absolutely tank at the box office if Ben Arnold does not do something with its release date. Not to mention, August has TNB 2nd Gen 5, Dr. Vulture Returns, The Good Guys 3, and OWCA 6th Gen 3, Silent Wars Part 2. And then, if you move 6th Gen 1 live action to June, you gotta compete with both the Coco and Olivia sequel and the Annoying Orange movie. Yeah, I don't want another TNB 1 live action story, how this becomes the worst performing Ben Arnold film, because the original animated 6th Gen 1 was genuinely interesting, and I think it could be a great film for live action. But with all of these films coming out, I am really scared that this is going to have too much competition, and if they don't move the release date, this could be disastrous for Ben Arnold. And after how many flops he's had in 2024 and 2025, causing him to have no 2026 film releases, he does not want another one. How can Ben Arnold fix this release date to make sure that this film doesn't flop? Well, you gotta delay the movie. People are saying stuff like, he could delay to September or Labor Day weekend, and I'm like, no, Ben Arnold doesn't really do that. He doesn't really put his films in just random release dates. He has 2 specific release dates, June and July. And since both of those options are kind of taken out in 2027, can't believe I'm saying this, you're going to have to delay the movie to 2028. I know that's very hefty, but let's take a look at the June 2028 calendar over here. Yes, here was the June 2028 calendar, and where I think 6th Gen 1 live action could end up is releasing June 17th, 2028. I know it was like 11-month delay, but they have to delay this movie and push it from that very crowded release window of 2027. Yes, it's fun that we're getting so many of these big films, but truth of the matter is, a lot of them are going to eat away at each other, and a lot of them are going to be fighting to become the big next contender at the box office. Like the box office is going to be overly crowded in 2027. Like they got to plan their release dates better. Because if you're having this many family films, or just this many films in general, colliding and competing so much against each other, well, you're going to be in big trouble, and not all of them are going to absolutely succeed on their own. And that's why I think the only right option is that it has to be pushed, even if it's a delay of 2028, which I think would be pretty good, because you know you have the Null solo villain film just 1 month after. And then you have TNB's second Gen 1 live action, the same year. If Joel Hudson can drop 3 movies spread out throughout the year of 2027, and all 3 films are successful, TNB's 6th Gen 1 live action in 2028, before TNB's 2nd Gen 1 live action, and the Null solo villain movie, just spread out throughout 4 months. But I think that would actually really work for Ben Arnold's. I mean, the only sad thing is that we're not going to have any Ben Arnold-verse live-action TNB films releasing in 2026 or 2027. I mean, no film at all. But we'll still have movies like Joel Hudson's Ben City in 2026, and Joel Hudson's Martha Minor solo villain film, Ryan Spo's solo villain film, Brancis solo villain sequel, Brian Babyford solo villain film, and his Barry Barracuda solo villain film. So 2026 and 2027 will be fine regardless, even if we don't have a Ben Arnold-verse live-action TNB film. It's just I don't want another Ben Arnold film to flop. I love Ben Arnold Entertainment as a company, but I feel like if they have another flop with a live-action TNB movie, they're probably going to heavily rely on Justin Walker to reboot the franchise, and they're probably going to feel lost in what their direction of the future of the company is. I know they said when Blanca flopped, they did a lot of soul-searching and were very confused as of why it flopped, feeling like they can't make any good movies for us anymore. I still think they can make great films, like TNB's 2nd Gen 1 live action looks great. But if they don't want to flop with TNB's 6th Gen 1 live action, you have to push it. Even though it's hefty, it's necessary. So, what do you guys think about this for Ben Arnold's TNB 6th Gen 1 live-action adaptation? Do you think the movie has to be delayed, or do you think there's another option in order for this film to still be successful?